I just wanted to jump on here real quick to apologize for the audio. My mic and Nicholas were trying to make a baby, so there's a lot of click clacking going on during this video, and I apologize wholeheartedly if it really bothers you. I will do better next time to prevent that, but I definitely do not feel like redoing the whole video because I feel like it would be less passionate. So thanks for dealing with my Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you were new here, hello. I am Mental Health Julia today. Okay, so the topic of today is in the title. Yeah, my pet peeves when it comes to depression. Now, I am not specifically saying that I have a pet peeve in regards to the actual mental illness, but more along the lines of how it's perceived, what people say to you, and just the lack of education about it overall. So just to clarify things right now, I am going to explain to you guys the two types of depression. Two. I'm not saying that there is only two types of depression, but I will be categorizing it simply, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I just want to rant. So you have your chemical depression and then your circumstantial depression. Chemical depression. Why can't I talk? Chemical depression. Chemical depression is literally what it is. It's all chemically. It is the hormones in our brain that are throwing it off and making life so fucking difficult. Circumstantial depression. That is when an event occurs that causes you to be depressed. I personally have chemical depression. It sucks balls, if I'm gonna be honest. It really does. And the reason why is because it's not something that goes away. It is something that will always be there. It is something that we have to learn to live with. We didn't ask for it, and I really doubt any of us fucking want it. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, here are my pet peeves. I know you guys mean well. Believe me, I've been there. I've said these things before, but that was when I was younger and less educated about it. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people tell you, think positive, just don't worry about it. Do something that makes you happy. Why are you depressed? You have nothing to be sad about. You're being dramatic. It gets better. I know you guys mean well when you guys say this, but literally when we are spiraling, it is the furthest thing that we want to hear. Because our brains will literally go to, you don't get it, you don't understand it, and it doesn't feel good to us. The reason why I say it doesn't feel good is because it makes us feel like we're not understood. And a lot of the time, it also contributes to the fact that we hardly understand it ourselves. We just want help. We want to be heard. We want to be comforted. I'm sorry if it feels like a burden. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to burden you with our depression. We are literally just asking for help. Things that you can do to help us is hang out with us. We don't have to go out to a theme park or anything like that. It could be just as simple as relaxing at home, being fat asses on the couch, watching some TV, or even just by going on a walk, something just simple, low-key, nothing too dramatic. So what you could do is maybe try and learn their depression with them, or even ask them how they believe their depression works. How depression is viewed as black and white. It's not. Everyone's depression is different. Everyone's depression manifests in different ways. Everyone has different triggers, everyone has different responses to it, and you need to understand that we may not know all the answers either. We may not know the answers as to what our triggers are or our personal symptoms of the funk before the spiral. And that's even if you have the funk. I can personally recognize when I have the funk, and I try to nip it in the ass as soon as possible because I do not like to spiral. Spiraling is the worst. Another pet peeve of mine that I personally have not dealt with for a very long time, but I have experienced this before. And it's when people obnoxiously stare at my self-harm scars or comment about them or even ask. Like, just don't, please. Now, I have been a self-harmer for a really long time. I've come to just not care about if people look at them. I'm not ashamed of them. If anything, they're just a part of me. It's like a tattoo that I gave myself. I do not look at them and feel any means of negativity because I used it as an outlet to try and help me out of a spiral. Just because you don't self-harm the way that I do does not mean that you do not self-harm. There are so many forms of self-harm. Let me educate you. Basics of what everyone's brain goes to when they think of self-harm. And that is very visible. Other forms of self-harm: overeating, undereating, punching, thinking negatively about yourself, drug abuse, alcoholism. It is all a form of self-harm. And that's what people do not care to realize. There is so many forms of self-harm. And just because I do it this way does not make you any better than me. That is another pet peeve of mine. When people try to degrade you for your external scars because they don't have them. But I bet they've self-harmed in some sort of shape or form. I bet you 100%. It is all bad. There is no range of, oh, this is worse than this. It is all bad. Another pet peeve of mine is when people say that depression is still stigmatized. It is not a taboo thing, you guys. Depression is everywhere. There are so many people that have depression right now, and there are so many more that have not been diagnosed. And I prefer to not say that it's stigmatized because the reason why people think it's stigmatized is due to lack of education. Because people don't necessarily care to learn about it. They either think it's a joke and not to be taken seriously because we're being dramatic, and fear. Us humans, we work really weird. Majority of us fear the unknown. We fear something that we cannot comprehend. We fear something that doesn't make sense. We fear something that is new. Don't try to tell me that it's not true, because it is. And the last one that I have a pet peeve about, just because I am a woman and a mother, that my depression isn't taken seriously. A year after my second son was born, they were still trying to say that postpartum depression could still affect me. Even though I had stated that I had been dealing with depression ever since I was a teenager. I definitely was not taken seriously, and it was so fucking frustrating. All because I have a uterus and children. Isn't that great? I'm making these videos to educate anyone who wants to learn about depression. Whether it's just for self-education, or perhaps you know someone who is depressed. Because I know it sucks when you care about someone and you do not know how to react. Just remember to be kind to others. You have no idea what is going through their mind at that point in time. Those are just a handful of pet peeves that I have. Just a handful. It can be very difficult to be trying to explain depression because there is just so much information about it, so much depth to it, it's insane. Even sometimes I forget to bring up things that need to be brought up. But maybe I'll bring them up to light sooner or later. That is the point of these videos though. You guys are going to be living and learning and growing with me. If you guys would like, I can do a video on how my depression works, how it is perceived, the type of symptoms I have when I'm in the funk, or how my spiraling is. I do not mind sharing my story. I am not ashamed of it. I'm just trying to survive, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I really hope that you walk away from this video with some new knowledge, or maybe a feeling of it being relatable. If you guys have some stories that you would like to share with me, I really don't mind the read. There's nothing else to do around here anyway. Stay happy, stay healthy. I really hope that you guys are doing okay. And don't forget to appreciate yourself and the little things that you do when you feel you were struggling. So until next time, toodles.